Okay, all set?
Yep.
All right, good evening, everyone, all who are here. I'd like to welcome you to the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen for Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. And I'll call the meeting to order, and I would ask you to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just a couple of quick items. I don't believe we have any correspondence, correct? So we'll skip that. Public input?
Nothing.
No, you are on the next agenda, so I know you're not going to be giving any input right now. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Selectmen meeting of Tuesday, February 5th, 2019.
I'll make that motion to accept the minutes of Tuesday, February 5th.
And I'll second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries, and then I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the special joint meeting of February 13th, 2019.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second. Any discussion, any corrections? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. First Selectmen's report, I have one major item to report, and I'll bring Rich up to speed when he gets here a bit later. As you know, I'm going to hand you this, and for the record, this is a flyer on separate glass recycling, which is from the Housatonic Resource Recovery Authority. Bethel is one of 3 towns participating in a pilot program to see how much clean food-grade glass can be captured for recycling. And there's quite a story behind this. Many years ago, and I know Paul will appreciate this because you've followed this for a long time, the state of Connecticut, along with most of the country, went along with this idea of single stream recycling. So in other words, because of some inventions in the material handling machinery, you didn't have to separate this from that, plastics from glass. You could put everything in one bin, and you could ship it off to the recycling centers, and the fantastic machines would separate all this material, pull out the materials that were saleable, that had market value, and the market value was really what powered the whole recycling effort. And of course, the whole simplicity of single-stream recycling was designed to entice more consumers to recycle more and throw away less. So the effort was to make it easier for them to recycle, and they didn't have to worry about separating things. Well, the unfortunate thing is that, as we've discussed in a couple other reports in the last few months, the recycling market is basically on the verge of collapse. China, about a year or so ago, stopped accepting recycled materials from the US, and that's where most of that went. And what that has done is it's caused the market value of recyclable materials to plummet. It can't be sold anymore. The only thing that still has value is glass, and not all glass, just food grade glass. So mayonnaise jars, pickle jars, beverage containers, with or without deposit, like wine bottles. Obviously deposit bottles, anything that's considered virgin glass still has very good value. But in order to protect the value and recapture whatever value is left in that, which is really the only income stream that supports the whole recycling market, that value or that glass has to be separated from all the other recycling materials, because when crushed glass is mixed in with other things like plastics or paper, that material is then so contaminated it cannot be reused for anything. It kills it. It kills off the market. So this is happening on a nationwide basis, where towns that once embraced single stream recycling are now going to have to go back to the old-fashioned days, like in the 50s when we were kids, where you have to separate the glass. And it's something where there are even bills pending in Hartford this year recommending a higher deposit on beverage bottles for the purpose of, putting more value in them so that people will bring them back and that glass can be recaptured. So there's 2 things that this pilot program is designed to do. One is to get glass out of the regular recycling stream. So the blue bags that we all use to, to put in the aluminum cans and, the other and plastic bottles, those can no longer have any glass in them at all. And the second part of this is to take the glass that is valuable and separate it so that it can be shipped off to the material handler, and then we get a bigger rebate on that glass, and that helps offset the cost of throwing stuff away. So there's really two dynamics. One is the market value of recycled materials has pretty much collapsed except for glass, and number two, because people are throwing away more of these things that can't be recycled, the cost of disposal is going up. And again, we're seeing articles where this is occurring from California all the way to Maine. So Bethel is one of 3 towns, I think it's Bethel, Reading, and Newtown, that are doing an experiment to see if we can provide enough incentive for our consumers who use our transfer station to separate the glass. Winters Brothers or Oak Ridge Recycling has provided a separate drop-off can for us. It's already been set up. The staff has been trained to help people, and we may even reach out to some volunteers for like an Earth Day effort to train people, to have people working at the station. Winter Brothers is actually going to be providing some employees free of charge to us to help people understand why they need to recycle glass separately and pull it out. So this is actually underway now, although we're in the process of preparing a mailing piece, which is based off of this flyer. Dion is preparing a mailing piece that will go to all 2,200 homeowners who have who have not purchased but have obtained permits to use the station, so that they can see this in advance. So it's a kind of a big problem, but Bethel never went to single stream because we didn't want to invest in a compactor, and now we're probably very glad we didn't. So we already, the people who use our transfer station are already kind of preconditioned to separate because they've been doing it all along. So I think this will be a successful pilot. And what it will do is help us hold our cost of disposal down. Because right now we have to charge 25 cents a pound for municipal waste. If this doesn't work, we might have to look at raising that fee, which is not something we want to do. We want to make the transfer station as easy to use and as economical as possible. So that's basically it. We're working closely with HRRA and Oak Ridge Recycling on this. Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is watching very carefully because this pilot might become a model for the state, and how they recommend other towns deal with this problem. So that's all I have to report tonight. Any questions?
I think we should put up a big sign. Really next to the big, although we dump off currently, all of our glass essentially, and I guess the cans, and effective, immediately, or effective when we got and over that particular bin, virgin glass only, just like it says right here, acceptable bottles, okay, beverage bottles, juice containers. It should be glass juice containers.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have to correct that.
Condiment bottles mean mayonnaise, whatever, okay, and food containers, which could mean like pickle jars or whatever. But do we have to delabel them?
No.
Okay.
No. That the machinery that they use is capable of dealing with the labels on them. We just
we're going to send this to
all of our permit holders.
Good.
And then Dion is also working on a public relations campaign. So
and also the town website.
Yeah, website, Facebook page, and so on.
Good.
So that's all. That's all I have to report on that.
Good. Thank you.
So I'll keep you in the loop and let you know how it works. The only other item on the agenda is consideration of appointment to the Insurance and Pension Commission, and we have a winner. We have a volunteer. So I'll put a motion on the floor to appoint Mr. James Nadeo, who has volunteered to join that commission.
Is that a Democratic replacement?
Yeah, it's a replacement for Steve Brill.
Okay.
So Yeah, and let me state for the record, you know, when it comes to stuff like this, it's a shame that we have to be burdened by the state mandate on, you know, what party, because, you know, this is just, you know, people who have some interest and talent in this kind of work, and it's a shame we have to stick to it, but unfortunately, that's what we have to do. So, did you second that?
Second.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries, and that concludes our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
and I'll second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. So now we're ready for the